and roll. The Texans win it.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me. However you are joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, you have to be locked in and listening live at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching the show live on our YouTube channel. That's right, we stream all of our shows live on YouTube, whether that's the Morning Huddle from 6 to 10, the Blitz from 2 to 6, or right here on Extra Innings from 6 to 7. We got you covered. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. You're able to comment along with the show as it happens, like Fred Records, Rams, Spur, already up in the comments section in the bullpen. Appreciate y'all. Or, as always, you can call in the old-fashioned way at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want a chance to get your prediction off your chest. Which way are you leaning? I'm leaning Seahawks. I've been leaning Seahawks all week, and I haven't been swayed to New England to this point. So, as of right now, before the end of my show, I have got the Seahawks because that defense has been fantastic all season long. Sam Darnold has been in his renaissance year, and he ain't seeing ghosts. He's the Ghostbuster right now. So I'm just going to lean that way, and we'll see where the end of the year takes us because it has been phenomenal. And, of course, it's been a fantastic week out there in San Francisco for our Best Bail Bonds big game coverage on Radio Row, powered by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Fantastic stuff today from all the shows, and it was great because early this morning, Friday, as always, Rob gets his, as he likes to call it, his Patronus. Andrew Zimmern was joining the Morning Huddle this morning as they got to talk food and all kinds of fun stuff because Rob just really gets a kick out of this part of the week.
Welcome back to the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Your Radio Road coverage continues, and it's an annual tradition. Whenever I hit the road and whenever we go to the Super Bowl, I run into the best people, and this is one of the things that I always make sure Jason Minnick's books for me is I get a chance to meet with my friend and one of the favorite chefs in all the world, Andrew Zimmern. Welcome, sir.
Good to see you again.
As always, it's a pleasure. I love the fact that you enjoy the same things that I enjoy. All the way around. Food, family, you're a hunter, you're a sportsman. All of those things we kind of mesh.
Yes, we do.
And we see each other in the best places.
Well, we do see each other in the best places. This is always one of my favorite days of the year, too. Being able to be in one place and talk to so many people about the things that matter to me, whether it's, what I like to do for fun or what I want to do to change the world.
Right.
It's one of my favorite days of the year, and it's always good to see the same people all the time because it does become like a weird little family.
Well, you're exactly right. So you do see the best people, and it becomes kind of a scheduled event. I will see Andrew at some point. So as I see you now, where do I find you the most often other than your own Andrew Zimmern channel, which I know that I see you on that?
Well, it's strange. Brands have become kind of personal brands have become sort of odd that way, and the rules change every month. So like my YouTube, my Substack, you can get to both of them from my website, andrewzimmern.com. I mean, andrewzimmern.com is one-stop shopping for everything. There's no paywall. It's a well-designed website where you can get into my ecosystem. I have a big hit show on Tastemade. I was just found out it's been the #1 show on Tastemade for 6 seasons, called Wild Game Kitchen, which is great. But the media world, it used to be that like Tastemade would have that show and no one else could air it. Now, because everyone is trying to spend as little money on production as possible, It's on A&E. It's on Outdoor Channel. The show gets everywhere because secondary and tertiary rights are sold. So you can see that everywhere. It's funny, though, the 4 or 5 shows that I did for Travel Channel, Zimmern List, Delicious Destinations, Bizarre Foods, continue to be massive hits. I have people who come up to me all the time saying, "Oh, I love your new show." I'm like, "Which one?"
Which one of the
and
many?
they say, "Oh, I'm watching it on the Max streamer." And I'm like, "Which one?" They're like, "Where you eat all the weird foods." And I'm like, "That was my first show." And I realize there's a whole new generation that is getting, I guess it's the thing I'm proudest of is having created a 1 or 2, if you count Delicious Destinations, legacy shows that people still are really into.
Well, Andrew, what you have done is you've created a generation of very adventurous eaters.
Yeah.
Because my kids watched the show with you,
which is so strange because I thought it was just my dad and me when I was a kid. Then I just started doing what I had done with my dad, and a TV crew eventually started following me around. I mean, what I do in my real life when I was traveling as a chef before I ever got on TV was what you see on Bizarre Foods. I'm the same dude. I mean, I go around, I'm curious, I ask questions, I want to promote other people in other cultures. I think food is a way in to solve our problems. I don't want to, beat that issue over the head too much, but I've never had a meal with someone where I got up liking them less. I've had a few dates early on in my life that maybe went south, but other than that, and so consequently, eventually I just pitched that idea because, my English teacher in high school said, write what you know. Right. And everybody kept telling me when I was a young culinarian, great chefs that when I was coming up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, cook what you know, like get into that. And I just thought, okay, I'll just pitch them on what I love to do when I travel. And they were like, that's amazing. And that's how Bizarre Foods was born.
And the legend carries through. So my question, everybody, when I tell them that I meet you and how excited I am to see you, they always want to know, okay, what's the last thing you just made at home? I mean,
the last thing that
you just whipped up for the fam.
I made something called, we had very little time to eat. And so I made a one-pot dish. I'm really big on one-pot meals because they're easy. And by the way, I have an office. I have a job. I do a lot of things at home. Everyone's busy, young men at home. And so I did an asopao of chicken, which is a Caribbean dish. So I browned some chicken, diced thighs, threw in a little bit of rice, some peppers, some hot chilies, thinly sliced limes, some thyme, a little bit of nutmeg, some broth. And I cooked that, onions and garlic and other seasonings. And it's a Caribbean jambalaya. It is, a lot of food historians believe that ultimately that's the dish that came out of the Caribbean, and the Spanish brought it up into the port of New Orleans. The Spanish owned New Orleans before the French did, right? And it became jambalaya. They just put shellfish and other things in it when the Acadians came down from Canada, and they all collided in the middle, right? And that's the last thing that I made for everyone.
Well, just a little something, little OG
but
jambalaya.
It's easy. It's so funny because we have these recipes on my website, and there are people who've sort of become addicted to them. And it's interesting because everybody wants to know, what do you cook at home?
Right.
And it's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, look, during the summer, I'm out at the grill every single night. I just assume cook over open fire is anything. It's 10 below zero in New York, in Minneapolis right now. So we're cooking indoors.
So you're an outdoorsman, a hunter. Anybody who's followed you knows you're not afraid to pull a trigger.
Yep.
Favorite bird to hunt?
Ducks.
Ducks.
I mean, I love goose hunting. I've actually become quite addicted to southern Minnesota pigeon barn hunting because I love pigeon. I love eating pigeon, and it's fun to stand in a barn and you bring along someone, or you rotate, throw rocks into the barn doors. The pigeons come out, and it's like an arcade game, right? And you get enough of them, and I love marinating them and grilling them. I think pigeon meat is absolutely delicious. But at the end of the day, sitting in a duck blind, throwing decoys, dealing with wind patterns, dealing with stubborn ducks that are, smarter than a lot of other birds, especially as the season goes on,
Right.
to me is incredibly fun. And I've sat on a pail in a duck blind and never put the gun to my shoulder and still had incredible days with my buddies.
Right.
The quality of the sandwiches that you bring into the blind has a lot to do with that.
I would say 80% or better.
Or the soup in the thermos. But I love duck hunting. Goose hunting is exciting. You get when geese come into the blind and turn their backs away from you and put their landing gear down. If you call in enough of them and you're in a blind, we dig them into the soil so that you have a place to sit. You pop a lid and come up. That is a really exciting moment. Ducks you spot from far away, and you hope and you call.
To call someone in.
If you have the right setup and the wind is right and you're in the right rye field in Minnesota and those geese come in, it is unbelievable.
I'm a good cold weather hunter, but I'm not a cold weather Minnesota hunter. That's a different level.
I stopped going out when the ice comes down. I will say this, when the lake gets smaller and smaller and smaller and you've got that last 10-foot hole somewhere out there, and if you can get near it safely, those ducks are going to land on water, and they're taking off to go south, and they think, hey, this is the last stop of the winter, and you're there. It gets very exciting.
Absolutely. Andrew Zimmer joining us. You're here with the NFL. Are you doing the same things that you've...
Same thing. I mean, Taste of the NFL. This is the party with a purpose. It's our big fundraiser of the year. It's an NFL-approved charity. Saturday from 4 to 7 at the Hibernia here in San Francisco. We do have a few tickets available, tasteofthenfl.com. Hundreds of players, Hall of Famers, 35 of the best chefs in America, walk-around tasting event. Miss America is going to be there. Celebrities are going to be there. We're really excited about it, and it just keeps getting better and better every year. I think this is year 36 or 37. It's the 5th year benefiting Gen Youth, which ends student hunger in America and puts programs into schools to also help get kids active. It's an incredible organization, and people should go to genyouthnow.org, learn more about it. Childhood hunger in America is something that shouldn't exist. We have the food, we have the money, we have the distribution systems, we have everything we need to do it, but for 75 years we haven't had the political will to do it. And it's becoming more than an embarrassment and a crime. It's becoming almost genocidal in a sense if we can't feed kids. And it's the question isn't, well, can we afford to? The answer is yes, we can. It's a rounding error in our federal, but we can't afford not to because the soaring costs, medical and otherwise, are absolutely devastating us. We need to feed kids.
Andrew, it's one of the best things I do every year. Thank you for stopping by.
I appreciate
it's
it.
Always a genuine pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing. You're an icon.
I love it. Thank you. You're very
honor.
kind.
Thank you.
Andrew Zimmern with Rob Thompson. Always good stuff, man. Andrew Zimmern, just an incredible chef, liver of life, hunter, outdoorsman. Great stuff, as always, is our Best Bail Bonds big game coverage powered by Smoky Moose Barbecue and Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds rolled on today as we started wrapping things up. Coming up on the other side, though, the Blitz, they got things kicked off with a power player today. Yesterday, it was the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Today, it was the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Cowboys running back Emmitt Smith. He joined the Blitz earlier today, and I'm bringing that to you coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we have a new Super Bowl champion. We'll talk about the big game, and NBA season officially starts. So we'll get into that as well. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Celebrate the 17th annual Pork Rind Appreciation Day with PorkRinds.com and NFL legend Devin Hester. We're teaming up to support the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund, helping retired players get the medical care they deserve. Want to get in the game? Visit PorkRinds.com to play their Crunch Time Hero game and enter daily to win a trip to the 2027 big game in LA, plus a year's supply of pork rinds. Grab the perfect low-carb snack and be your own Pork Rind Appreciation Day hero today at PorkRinds.com.
Order Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue for your big game watch party. For a limited time, the rib pack is available just for the big game with 3 pounds of mouth-watering ribs and home-style sides of your choice. Feed your crowd with game day favorites. For 26 years, Smoky Mo's has created craft-level barbecue with great neighborhood value. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue served fast and friendly with 8 convenient locations in San Antonio. Stop by or order Smoky Mo's for pickup or delivery at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like if I need a replacement part.
Sure, we can help with that.
Ah, nice. Hey, I just entered this online contest for coolest bike in the world. You think maybe you can vote for me?
Actually, we just do insurance, not popularity contests.
Yeah, I know. But what's your email? I'll just send you the link real quick. You can vote like 100 times a day. They'll never know.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
So what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help. At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express-News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure. Right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I appreciate y'all rolling along with me on this Friday night as I take you up to 7 o'clock, getting you ready for the big game this Sunday and for what's going to happen with the Cowboys and how they can fix what ails them. As notable disgruntled Cowboys fan, former player, NFL's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith was on with Jason and Joe on the Blitz today as he discussed how the Cowboys can get back on track.
Emmitt Smith, Joe Reinagel is back in San Antonio. We're live right now. So, yeah, Joe's in San Antonio. So
Joe couldn't make the trip?
No, yeah, company went cheap.
How you doing, Emmett? How you doing? Yeah, they always going cheap. They want you to do more work while they continue to go cheap.
Yeah,
I want to know
right.
I want how much money the CEO making.
Yeah. That's always it's kind of like Jerry going cheap on the Cowboys defense this year, isn't it?
Well, it is, but very cheap. So cheap that they couldn't stop nothing.
Boy, and Emmett, you had to be like shaking your finger and yelling at the TV and all of that kind of stuff because the offense was pretty spectacular. The defense just couldn't stop anybody.
Well, yes, I agree. And that's been the problem, is being able to put all three phases together and at one time. And so for us, that's the challenge this offseason. We need to get things together if we want to get back into the Super Bowl.
You know, how many years we've been doing this? Well, actually, you were actually winning Super Bowls the last time they actually did this, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, every year we're talking about next year's Cowboys. This year's offense was good enough, but the defense, as you said, it was just bad.
Right.
Jerry said last night on the red carpet, nobody misses the Super Bowl more than him. But he's that guy that can actually do something about it.
He's not. He's the one guy that can actually help bring the groceries into the house. But it's up to the team to put together the chemistry led by Brian Schottenheimer, having the right coaches, the right mindset, the right commitments in terms of philosophy, offensively, philosophy, defensively. Bringing those things together is the challenge. And that's on the leadership of the team.
Well, you know, Emmett, that brings up a pretty good point because you talk about Jerry. He did something this year that, to me, was very un-Jerry-like. They went out and hired Christian Parker as a defensive coordinator. And typically, Jerry likes to hire people he knows. This time around, it didn't happen. And I like the hire. How about you?
Well, we'll see how it all comes together. I mean, because at the end of the day, that hire has to be compatible to the offense, and the offense has to be compatible to that defensive hire. But most importantly, if they don't upgrade the linebacker core, they don't upgrade the D-line and give those guys that we traded for some help when there's a rotation need, then we're not really getting better. And so I think with the picks that we have from the Michael Parsons trade, it lends for a very unique opportunity for us to get better and get better fairly quickly. And it doesn't take long in the National Football League.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that with Seattle right now as we visit with the great Emmitt Smith here on Radio Row in San Francisco. A couple of years ago, you and I and Joe, we were all talking about the Cowboys ignoring the running back position. And obviously it didn't work well for them. What do you think of the way Javonte Williams played this year, and do you think he'll be back?
What I saw this year was a commitment to the run game as well as the balance that's required. Dak Prescott got better because of that balance. CeeDee Lamb got better because of that balance. George Pickens came in and made everything else look a lot better because of that balance. It's that balance that the whole organization that we know as the Cowboys today was built off of. That's the same balance we had back in the 90s. And I believe it's going to be the same balance that's going to take us back to the Super Bowl once we get back to that level of commitment to what we used to do.
Well, you know, Emmett, the discussion in the offseason is going to be about George Pickens and whether the Cowboys give him a long-term deal or franchise tag him or however that's going to work. How do you feel about George Pickens long-term? Are you in with that young man being a Cowboy for the long haul?
I would say I'm in with George as long as he's committed to become a professional, whether he gets the ball or not. At the end of the day, you want CD on the field and CD want him on the field. And they all need Williams carrying the rock. And they need Dak Prescott back there throwing the rock. All of them need it. And if you don't handle it like that, because Irvin had Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Rice had Taylor. Joe Montana had all of that. Then you start talking about the guys out of Miami. Dan Marino had Duper and Clayton. Terry Bradshaw had Swan and Stallworth. and others. Roger Staubach had Pearson and daggone what's the name? Come on. You got to have two solid guys. And without those two guys on the field being complementary to each other, it's not going to happen the way we want it. And so George Pickens would be a great asset to the team, but he needs to step it up mentally in terms of learning how to become a professional athlete. And I think a lot of young players need to have that. Therefore, they need to be in Dallas working together, sharing and learning together. I don't see the offense. I don't see our team I don't see young players doing what we used to do. And what we used to do, we forged relationships. And those relationships became meaningful relationships well beyond the game.
You know, it's interesting because Dak has the field in his backyard. Guys can go work out. We don't know who always is showing up and if it's just the young receivers that Dak is developing trust with, but CD, GP, but they seem like they're really good friends. And CD was with us on Wednesday here on Radio Row and said, if George Pickens makes more than him, he doesn't care as long as he's there. And you know how the locker room measuring sticks go. Do you buy that from CD being 1A or?
Yes, I do buy that.
Yeah,
I do buy that because that's the way we were. That's the way you have to be. The world may not want to see it that way. People may want to put you against that guy and all those kind of things. It's not how we think. I don't care. I mean, his CD time will come back up again, and it happens that way. So at the end of the day, I trust what CD says. I don't think he's just saying it just to be saying it.
See, I believe him. No hesitation. He just wants to win. Get him here.
I think at the end of the day, Dak wants George Pickens as well. I think we should just go ahead and try to get this thing done, get it behind us, so we can have a quiet offseason and not a whole lot of fanfare. The fanfare should be around the new draft picks that comes in and the excitement around what the defense is looking like in terms of the improvements that we're making and the guys that we're bringing in to improve our team so we can have a level of confidence that we're moving in the right direction. And then once that happens and materializes itself, we should remain in that same old mode and just continue to add good quality pieces to what we're talking about. And before we look up, we could be back in the bowl game within 2 years. You never know.
I totally agree with that. It can happen pretty quickly. But, Emmett, you know Jerry as well as anybody. And when you're talking about an extension, you know how he operates. He's not very quick and doesn't seem to be in a hurry to make deals get done. Do you think it might change this time around with George Pickens?
I don't know. I think it should change. I think if we've been doing the same thing over and over for the last 30 years and expecting stuff to change, we obviously got it wrong because nothing has really changed. We're still losing. We're not in the playoff. We're not in the Super Bowl. We're not even in the NFC Championship game. So something has to change. And it's a philosophy, it's a mindset, and it's a culture change.
It's going to be a crazy when and if. And hopefully sooner rather than later, the Cowboys actually get back into this game and win. Again, you think about how long ago you won those 3 Super Bowls. It's that 30 years is crazy because we're not old enough to have that be 30 years ago, right? But you also have the gold jacket. You're a Hall of Famer. We got a new class inducted last night. I want to get your thoughts on all the news leading up to, as we all kind of found out, people find out ahead of time. I still think Darren Woodson should have been in that class last night. But the fact that Bill Belichick isn't, Robert Kraft isn't, as a Hall of Famer, your thoughts on this year's class?
I think all of the guys that's not in it is going to overshadow the guys that are going in because of just the philosophy around why they're not in it. There's probably 2 more slots. I don't know if they limited it to just 5. If they did, fine. I think they did Belichick some injustice because he has more Super Bowl rings than any player, any coach, probably more than any organization in the National Football League history. That in itself, as a D coordinator and as a head coach, qualifies him as a Hall of Fame coach. And that's a problem. I think I agree with you. Darren Woodson should have been in as well. And I don't know why he's not. I don't know what the philosophies were in the selection process. Whatever the philosophies were, they didn't get it right. They got it wrong again. And they're going to continue to get it wrong until people start questioning the individuals in terms of why they voted a certain way. And I think we should have the right to ask them questions why you voted that way. What was your rhyme? What was your reasoning? What was your thinking? If you can justify your rhyme, your reason, and your thinking without questioning or criticism, great. I think people can get behind it and understand it. But no one has had the chance to sit here and isolate these people and ask them those tough questions.
Well, yeah,
I got to answer tough questions every day about things that I shouldn't have to answer questions around. I should be talking about how great it is these 5 guys are going in. But instead, you got me up here talking about the process.
Got the process here.
That was Emmitt Smith joining the Blitz earlier today. You can catch it in our audio vault. You can watch the video with Emmitt as our video stream held up incredibly well throughout the day today. That will be in our YouTube 2026 Best Bail Bonds Big Game Coverage playlist, which is powered by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Of course, those will be up shortly after the show. I've been working on them diligently throughout the day, so hopefully I will have them up here within the next hour or so. But Emmitt, as Fred Villarreal points out, very much unlike a lot of other star athletes, tells you the way it is. He does not mince or parse words when he is talking. It is coming straight from his heart, and he is letting you know exactly what he thinks about what's going on, whether it's with the Cowboys or with the NFL. And you heard them finish up talking about the Hall of Fame class, the Morning Huddle, talking about the Hall of Fame class that was announced last night. And it feels like this class is going to be overshadowed by who's not there. We'll discuss as we come back here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars $50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The $50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Everyone says time is money. Time is not money. Money is better than time. You know what's better than money? More money. That's how we're changing the game at GiveMeTheVin.com. We're giving you more money for your car. It's a big transaction. We're important to that transaction. GiveMeTheVin.com. If we don't beat a CarMax offer, I'll send you a check for $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The Gomez Law Firm is the firm that San Antonio turns to for personal injury law. We have Jose from the Gomez Law Firm here with us. With over 1,200 five-star Google reviews, the Gomez Law Firm is proud of the winning record and results that are attached to these reviews.
We encourage people to go online and look at our review because we want to make sure that you feel comfortable choosing the right attorney. And we assure you, you go to Google and look up our reviews, you're going to be satisfied.
It's important to hire an attorney you can trust, and the reviews speak for themselves. The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted provider of personal injury law since 1973.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
The Gomez Law Firm continues to fight for our San Antonio community, and the results matter. If you've been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then contact them today at joegomezlaw.com. That's joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
It's the biggest game in football, and it's right around the corner. You can get in on all the action with Underdog right now in Texas. Not on Underdog yet? Well, you're in luck. New customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing on Underdog. It's easy. All you have to do is choose higher or lower on predicted stats. Get them right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Plus, there's new promos dropping daily in the app. So if you like making picks and winning money, then Underdog is the best place to be for the big game. What are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code STAR to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. Promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS gambler.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like roadside assistance.
Oh, yeah, Progressive offers that.
Great. Do you have plans Saturday? My cousin canceled and I'd love to have someone to ride with.
Actually, we just do insurance, not riding buddies.
Cool, let's meet at noon. Actually, scratch that. 10 a.m., you and me, breakfast at a diner.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
Okay, so if you beat me there, get me the Lumberjack special. We can share.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com.
The Aggies play here. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all rolling along with me on this Friday evening. Getting you ready for Super Bowl 60. The big LX out there in Santa Clara. And one of the things that happens during Super Bowl week is last night we were introduced to this year's Hall of Fame class. And we already knew it was going to be with some notable exceptions. How does that really affect things going forward? Morning Huddle was talking about the Hall of Fame class this morning as Rob and AJ debate who was worthy, who was not.
The NFL awards yesterday were announced, and the Hall of Fame was the big announcement. They announced their 2026 class as part of the NFL Honors Award Show. 5 players: Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, both first-year nominees, first ballot Hall of Famers, joined by Adam Vinatieri, who is a kicker. Okay.
This Vinatieri's weird, and we'll get back to it though.
Luke Kuechly and Roger Craig, who was the seniors edition. The other finalists, Jason Witten, Frank Gore.
Now say that list again, and then I want you to list the guys that didn't get in and pick the better class.
Okay, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, Marshall Yonda, Terrell Suggs, and Willie Anderson were the other finalists that had once they trimmed it down. Like, they go from like 20 down to 10, down to 7, down to 5. But the last 5 cut were Witten, Gore, Yonda, Suggs, and Willie Anderson.
List the ones that got in. And I think you can say that the guys that got in were the ones that should have gotten in.
Although
I know a lot of people are upset with this class, and only one I have a real problem with is Vinatieri. I don't understand of all the dudes to get in, the Patriot, where everybody else is paying a price. I know you're the kicker, but you're still a Patriot. Other guys are paying the price, but you're a kicker. And you're in. I don't get that kind of symmetry. Not that he isn't a deserving Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But of all the dudes to get in first, it was Vinatieri before Vinatieri got in before Belichick.
Yeah. Adam Vinatieri in, Bill Belichick not in, Robert Kraft not in, Terrell Suggs not in. Like I would have put Terrell Suggs in over Adam Vinatieri. That doesn't even make sense to me. And that's, guys like
other than that,
I get it. Guys like Frank Gore and Jason Witten, who
they're going to get in.
Maybe like to me, those guys they've got huge stats, but a lot of people would say they are sort of empty stats because they didn't lead to a whole lot of much.
Well, but Gore can fall back on longevity. Like, my God, you did it well for so long. And I think he has a genuine respect by voters. If he didn't have the longevity, he wouldn't get in. I think Witten has the numbers. Yeah. I think his numbers stack up. Now, it doesn't mean he's a second ballot or he might be a third ballot, but he will eventually get in as well. I think that class in total, at the end of time, will probably look better than the one that's going in. But when you're including Breeze in there and Fitzgerald, which were just about any year, I think they would have gotten in as a first ballot. Yeah. So this year it's a good class. I don't really see a terrible problem other than there's guys that are going to get in that didn't get in for whatever reason you want to account for.
Yeah, and I think anytime there's a log jam of guys that should or could be in, and you're putting in kickers, there's probably some frustration.
Yeah, that's a little.
I'm happy that Luke Kuechly is in because I think Luke Kuechly was like the best at his job for most of his career in the NFL, even though it was very short. He's one of these guys who left because he didn't want his brain to be mush. I'm not mad at him for that.
Well, Terrell Davis broke the door down. You don't have to have a long career. You just have a great one while you're doing it. And Terrell did it, and he opened the door for, I think, a lot of guys that are going to leave early or had to leave early for either injury or sanity.
But as much as I love Luke Kuechly, I would have put Terrell Suggs in before him. But it would have been real simple to just put Suggs and Kuechly in and let Adam Vinatieri wait until there's a dead year, and okay, now we can add a kicker.
I don't get that, and then the proximity to the gates is also kind of odd.
Yeah.
So all that combined, and he gets in first. Talk about dancing all the way to Canton.
It looks like Darren Woodson doesn't get in again, and next year's his last year of eligibility, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, this is it. I think he has one more after this, maybe. But we're getting real close to the bitter end here, and I don't know, man. Well, look at the class that didn't get in, and he's going to have to come in with these guys. It's one of those where you're going to have a gap year.
Not only that, look at the guys who are up next year. That's
what I'm saying. Those guys are coming at you.
Yeah, first ballot guys on next season. Adrian Peterson, that's a Hall of Famer. Ben Roethlisberger, Hall of Famer. Rob Gronkowski. I mean, those three, to me, those three are pretty much automatic.
Yes. That's 3 automatics. This year we only had 2 automatics.
And again, guys like Woodson didn't even make like the final cut down. I don't think it looks good for
and they have started to open the door to safeties a little bit more than they had for a long time. But unfortunately, all the Cowboys will have gotten in from that heyday but him.
Yeah, which is it's pretty wild to think about. But
unfortunate because he was such a key part and he was that good.
Yep. But yeah, I think it's maybe there are people who will argue against Adrian Peterson. I don't think they should. I think Adrian Peterson is.
Wow.
I mean, he's the 5th leading rusher all time. If they hold anything against him, it's going to be like whooping his kid's ass and things like that.
That's it.
But
and we have seen voters that make you pay a social price for a crime. I think Mr. Kraft not only is not in for the gates, but also the shower table stuff. You tarnish the shield a little bit.
But this
you
is
have
a dude
to wait a minute.
Who had 2,100 rushing yards in a season. He won an MVP as a running back. I mean, this is one of the greatest running backs of all time. Ben Roethlisberger, there's no doubt. Multiple Super Bowls and was already
he's got yards, bowls, rings.
He's in top 10 in pretty much everything.
MVP.
And then Gronk is a 4-time All-Pro first team.
Okay.
Like,
now, do you think he will pay a price?
No.
Okay.
No. And that's the other thing about Gronk.
Was he catching those flat balls?
Gronk is like beloved. Like media loves Gronk. Like he's now there are people who like fans are annoyed by Gronk because they see too much of him and they know he's a big dummy, but he plays the character. But media loves the guy. Like the voters are going to love that guy. I mean, and
he changed the game, man.
And he's got 4 Super Bowl rings on top of it. Like I don't think there's any way they keep him out. So that's 3 that I think are automatic, and then they've got to narrow it down to 2 more. And I've made a case. I think Terrell Suggs is the most deserving of these guys, but clearly right now it looks like Marshall Yanda and Willie Anderson are at the front of the line. But yeah,
and there goes Woodson's shot. That's what I'm saying. I think the timing is unfortunate, and it looks like unless he, I think there'll be a senior committee thing about 10 years from now or something.
That might be the way he gets in.
One last opportunity, but as it sits, of all the Cowboys, all the ones during the great years in the 90s, he'll be the lone dude that didn't get in.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate, but I mean, I look at Roger Craig, and I was thinking to myself, I saw Roger Craig play. I remember him. I grew up in that era. He was a good player. Did I ever think he was a Hall of Fame player? No. And so I went back to look. In 11 seasons, the guy only had 3 1,000-yard seasons. And they were barely 1,000-yard seasons. It was 1050, 1054, and he had one really good season where he had 1,500 yards. That's it. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He is a 1-time first team All-Pro, 2nd team All-Pro once, finished 3rd in an MVP, and won an Offensive Player of the Year. Won. And that was the year he finished 3rd in the MVP and had 1,500 yards. Does that sound like a Hall of Famer? And Fred Record saying, look, Roger Craig and Tom Rathman were a good duo. I agree that they were a good duo. This isn't the Hall of Good. It's the Hall of Fame. Joe Montana, Hall of Famer. Steve Young, Hall of Famer. Jerry Rice, Hall of Famer. Roger Craig, good running back. 11 years, 3 1,000-yard seasons. It's not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He was good. Does good deserve to be in over Bill Belichick? Does good deserve to be in over Robert Kraft? Does good deserve to be in over Jason Witten? Rob Gronkowski? Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson was great. But ESPN announcing that there could be potential changes coming to the Hall of Fame voting, and that may help to save the selection process. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, we'll put a bow on our week at the big game coverage. Our AA Best Bail Bonds big game coverage powered by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Thanks for taking care of Rob and Jason all week long as they brought us the best from San Francisco. And I'll tell you what, if you missed any of it, go to our YouTube page, look at our 2026 big game coverage playlist. All the interviews will be there. And if you missed sports content creator Peyton Toubre, go watch the video. It's going to be up shortly, along with Emmitt Smith. You're not going to want to miss that one. As Joe would say, shiny. This is Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We'll be right back.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley. And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and you can get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SUPPLY to get up to a $5 cashback bonus on your first tank. That's code SUPPLY for up to a $5 cashback bonus.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express-News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I appreciate all of y'all rolling along with me this evening. Our 2026 big game coverage was brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, taking you all the way out to San Francisco to bring you the greatest guests, whether it was Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith or CeeDee Lamb or Andrew Zimmern or Doug Kazarian today, Lee Steinberg. Fantastic. If you missed anything, be sure to go to our audio vault at SA Sports Star, and you can catch anything you missed, or just go watch the videos yourselves on our YouTube channel and our 2026 big game coverage playlist. Just go there. It is brought to you and powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, and also brought to you by Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. I want to thank them for all their help in getting the guys out there with Rob and Jason. They'll be back in studio on Monday, so don't forget to set your alarms, wake up early as we react to the big game and what went on between the Seahawks and Patriots. Once again, I am going Seahawks. That is my pick for the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, and I think they cover. Do with that information as you will. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing, can change everything. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining me every day this week as we kick it back into the weekend to try and recharge and get ready for another week next week right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Everybody have a great time. Enjoy your Super Bowl feast with friends and family, and keep those drinks coming. It's going to be a great weekend, guys. The end of the football season is here. It's now officially time to turn our attention to the NBA when we start back next week. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. We will see you on Monday right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you haven't checked out the new Novo Brazil Brewing Company attached to North Star Mall,